try this again and see if anybody's able to get on. Do a late night chat. I'm not sure why nobody else has been doing lives lately. And I know it's Memorial Day weekend, so there's probably a lot of people out doing stuff. Probably out camping and doing stuff like that. Hey Donnie, how you doing? You having a good night? Good evening? Figured I'd go live and see how everybody's doing. See if everybody had a good week and whatnot. See if anybody's able to get on. I know it's holiday weekend and it's 11 o'clock at night, so everybody's probably got things they're doing this weekend. Fishing. Awesome. Hey Judith and Dan, how are you doing? Appreciate you coming in here tonight. Hope you guys are having a good week. I know it's pretty late tonight, but I figured I'd go live since nobody else is. Yeah, Donnie, I'm doing pretty good. Just take it a day at a time. Yeah, Trapper J hasn't been live in about a month. Iowa Trapper, it's been 2 or 3 weeks since he's been live, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but figured I'd go live tonight, check in, see how everybody's doing. I know it's pretty late, but yeah, there's definitely rough times ahead of us, that's for sure. Everything's going up. Hey, Legal, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a very long time. Keep digging in. That's awesome. See, I'm still gonna trap regardless, so I might not run a big trap line, but I'm still gonna trap, that's for sure. Been busy, yeah, I definitely get that. I definitely get that, that's for sure. Yeah. That's the thing, trapping for me is more of a relaxing time. It's, a time to kind of just put everything behind me for, the couple hours that I'm out checking the line and doing whatever. So, it's good to clear your mind when you're out on the trap line. Still trying to catch hogs and footholds. Fun. Um, can you use snares for them? Noodling season. Awesome. It's something I ain't never done, and I don't really plan on doing it. Illegal, did you ever get your truck fixed? Come on to Oklahoma, I'll take you. Yeah. Noodling's never been something that I've had the want to go do. That's good. Trap line will get bigger to pay for the gas, yeah. See, I don't know how it's gonna be, in 3 months or whatever. I want to say hopefully things will be better, but they've consistently been getting worse, so who knows. Hey Billingsley, how you doing tonight? Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming in tonight. You haven't pulled your traps yet? Yeah, all mine's been pulled. I need to get them ready. What I need to do for next year. Otter. Yeah, I don't have any water here to trap. I'm gonna have to let my dog in. I got the dog. It's outside dog. Um, we've been keeping it inside since we've had it to kind of get used to us. And tonight was gonna be the first night outside, but it's just going nuts out there. So might just have to try again tomorrow. Doing good, Billingsley. Too lazy, I guess, just causes me more work in the long run. Yeah, I understand that. Snares using the foot snares. Awesome. Well, I hope you catch all the hogs you're trying to. The hogs is up for a nuisance job. So today's the first sunny day we've had, the only sunny day we've had all week. Gang set errors, now save gas, yeah. I just gotta have the steel for that. I definitely, it's one thing I need to do is get me more traps. I don't have enough. I'd like to have enough where I kind of, have a hard time getting them all out. But my problem is having a place to trap. It's like the place that I trapped all of December last season. There were so many cows on the place that I couldn't hardly trap anything but raccoons. You have too many. Yeah, I had a bunch that I didn't really care for. I wanted to switch to a different trap, so I actually sold all those to my brother. So I just need to get me some more to fill the freezer. Awesome. So have you caught any hogs yet? 40 years, yeah, that's for sure. My things I had, what was it? It was about 2 dozen traps. I sold my brother, close to it, dozen and a half. But they're ones that I didn't really like. So, and he's wanting to kind of get back into it. So I just sold them all to him for fairly cheap. I can get snares, pre-made snares. I can get any kind of snaring equipment and pre-made snares. Hey Derek, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good tonight. But yeah, I can get snares. I don't have them on my website. I actually removed quite a bit of stuff off my website that eventually I'll get back into, but right now it's just too much. I needed to kind of cut back and start building back up again, if that makes sense. Just got off work. That's awesome. One of the best feelings in the world is getting off work. It's crazy. It's been almost 4 years since I was a chef, since I quit my job to open my outdoor store. It's been July will be 4 years. Usually make your own like sports drink business. I appreciate that, Donnie. got tangled, didn't hold. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Misses are never fun. Misses and pullouts, never fun. Right. Don't try snares this season, yeah. See, here in Missouri, I can't use snares. I can use cable restraints, but they have to be, there can't be any entanglement, which basically means, you can't have them by any trees or a fence or a gate or anything. Pretty much just out in the middle of the field. So, I don't know if I really want to use them or not. Alright, Donnie, I appreciate you coming in and chatting with us. Hope you have a good night and have a good weekend. But, we'll see. I thought about trying some out this next season, but I don't know yet. Here in Missouri, you can't have any entanglement. So I mean, you can't have weeds, fence. I mean, there can't be any kind of entanglement. Yeah, Trapper J has good luck. He's had good luck, and he's had some not so good luck. He's had a few chew outs because they'll chew through the cable. Like if you catch them early in the night, sometimes they'll chew through. Yeah, there can't be anything that they can get tangled in because, I mean, if they get tangled, then, I mean, it's kind of like a snare because once they get tangled, there's 9 out of 10 times they're going to choke themselves. So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy because, I mean, basically it just leaves, like, in the middle of a field is your only option. So, I don't know. I might try some just because it'd be a new experience, a new thing to learn, maybe, something like that. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe just to kind of give myself, what you call it, a self perspective out of it. Kind of learn something about it. Which is crazy because, I mean, there's not, here in Missouri, we don't have a whole lot of restrictions and stuff, but when it comes to body grips and snares, we do. It's like the largest body grip we can use on land is a 155. So I've thought about getting some to make bucket sets for skunks, but that's about it. I know a guy that catches skunks with small body grips, and he catches a ton of skunks, and he says that it's about the best way because, 9 out of 10 times they don't spray. So I've thought about trying that out. But, then again, our season is extended this year. We can trap coyotes on private land till April 15th, but I don't know if I'll go that long, but I'd like to trap to the end of February. It just all depends on what kind of uh, property and spots that I get permission to trap on. I know one that'll be pretty good. It's not a whole lot of land, but I think it'd be pretty good. Um, It's got a road that goes right down the middle that I know a lot of coyotes run that road, so I could easily run a dozen traps or so on the road and probably catch quite a few within a couple weeks. But it's not really big enough that um, I can trap for multiple months. About I'd guess a month max, and it would probably be kind of uh, burn out. Like you'd probably catch most of the pack, and it would start getting really slow. Then again, I don't know because it is kind of a crossing for coyotes. It always has been. But another problem with it is it's the where we throw all our deer bones and stuff like that. We dispose of all our deer bones and stuff on the little piece of property. So in November and in was it October, November, and December, there's a lot of traffic through there with people dumping the deer bones and stuff like that. So I don't want people running over my traps and stuff like that. So I don't know, setting open grass trails. Yeah, I know the really good place that I set on last year. It was clean cut. I mean, the grass couldn't have been more than that tall. So there wasn't really any trails to set on, but uh, I caught probably 80 to 85% of my coyotes on that property on the road. Like I would put my trap, within 12 inches off the road, and that's where I caught most of my coyotes uh, in multiple different spots on the roads. My bobcat set was maybe 2 foot off the road, so and I caught a coyote and a bobcat in that set. But this place, it usually has taller grass, so there probably would be trails that I could set on, and who knows, maybe I could use the cable restraints there rather than the footholds, because at least then I won't have to worry about somebody running them over. You know what I mean? Cooking anything Monday? I'm not sure what I'm doing Monday. I know it's Memorial Day, but I don't really make plans. If I do anything, it'll be me and my wife probably do something with my mom. Probably just go to her house and spend the day, or who knows. Yeah, 2 tracks are great for coyotes. I've had lots of success on 2 tracks. I mean, I caught 17 coyotes last year, and I could say at least 12 of them, at least 12 of them were on 2 track roads. But last year was my first year, like, really trapping really hard. So I learned a whole lot of stuff that, come, January, in the middle of January, I had figured out a lot of stuff that was really starting to have results, and then our season ended. My last week of trapping season was awesome. I think my last week of trapping season, I caught 8 coyotes and 2 fox. At least one of the fox. I got 2 fox, and at least one of them was that last week. And I caught 8 coyotes and a fox that last week. So, um, it was definitely my most successful week. Pretty much every day I had a catch. And then there was one day I caught 3 coyotes, which is by far my best day. I had a lot of firsts this year. So, I had my first double this year. key or a creek crosses a two-track killer location. Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. Um, I had a spot one trap. I caught 4 coyotes in last year in 4 days, and I don't know if you guys have watched many of my videos from last season, but I'd found a dead deer, and I set my trap pretty close to that, and that's where I caught all those coyotes. It set about 3 weeks without catching anything, and then I caught a possum one day, and then nothing for like 3 days, and then I caught a coyote, and then I ended up catching 4 coyotes in 4 days in that trap. And basically, there was a fence that went through here. This was a big, this was a small field, and then there was like a hill that went up here, and there was a small field, and then there was a decent sized pond here. And then on the other side of the fence that was here was a ginormous field. And there was just a bunch of coyotes that ran through there, especially after that deer died there. And when I seen that deer there, I was like, yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of coyotes that have been coming through here eating on that coyote, so, or that eating on that deer. So we removed that, and then I set close to right there and got a bunch of coyotes. Yeah. Yeah, I found that deer, and then I called the land manager, which is one of my good friends, and he come and got the deer head and everything. And then, was it the next day? I guess the next day that I set 2 traps there. I set one close to it, and then one about 25 yards away. Yeah, it was the alpha trap. So that alpha trap stood very well, did very well. So I caught that one trap last year I had in 2 different locations, and I caught, I want to say, at least 4 possums in it, one feral cat, like 2 raccoons or 3 raccoons, and then 4 coyotes. And it still set perfectly. So, I caught at least a dozen animals in that trap, and nothing was tweaked, nothing was bent. The pan tension was not any different. So I mean, I was very, very impressed with that trap. But they're fairly, they're really expensive for coyote trap. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that the Beaver Dams, a lot of coyotes and cats will cross those. Yeah, millions of cats too. But we don't have a ton of beaver around my area. Uh, if you go about 25 minutes south into Arkansas, there's a ton of beaver. And if you go 10 minutes north, there's some beaver, but right here, there's not very many. Like, there's really not any. Of course, there's not really a lot of water here. And if you go really up north a little bit, there's a few, but not much. And then if you go about 20 minutes north, there's uh, a decent amount of beaver, but it's to the point where there's not quite enough, so all the beaver trappers are already there. The ones that have been trapping for years and years and years are already there. So, me, I don't really have a place to go trapping. Make log crossings and creeks. See, I do real well on 2 tracks here. I do good on 2 tracks, and especially if there's a place where like a T kind of or something where two track meets. I always sit on those and uh, usually do pretty good on those. I was kind of hoping Scab would be able to get on here tonight. I had something I wanted to tell him. I will say this is the first Duke 550 that I've messed with. I really do. I really like the 650, but this 550, for me, it's harder to set than the 650 is. I think mainly because these levers aren't tall enough. I mean, if you can see that, I mean, there's hardly any room there to push on the levers. You just can't really get your hand on it to set them. So, I don't necessarily like them simply for that fact right there. So, I know a lot of people like them, and I do like them. I love the 650, but I think the levers need to be a little taller on that. Yeah, it was crazy. With the cows, it wasn't always that they were tripping them or stepping on them. I mean, they'd just poop all over them. Like, I had on this place, there wasn't a ton of places to set traps because the farmer was driving everywhere and I didn't want my traps to get ran over. Um, but I had probably, say I had a dozen out, and every morning I'd go check them. There'd be 6 or 7 of them that would either be tripped or there'd be poop all over the bed. And it was just crazy. Hey, Scab, there's Scab. I just said I was wishing Scab would have got on. I had something to tell him. I feel like somebody told you to come watch. Because I literally said that like 3 minutes ago. Cover set, cow poop, yeah. So I wanted to tell you that, because I remember you saying that you couldn't wait to hear what my announcement was that I'd mentioned last week. Basically, I've been trying for a while, but I'm finally got where I am selling the No BS extreme traps now, canine extremes. I'll have the uh, Beaver extremes soon and the dog proofs soon, but right now I have the canine extreme and the canine juniors available on the website. Usually there's a lot of fish oil and then a lot of cow oils too. No, I don't really use much anything with fish. The only lure I have with fish is my little Sugar Creek, and I just use it in dog proofs. I don't use it in any kind of foot, dirt hole sets or anything like that. I pretty much just use it in my dog proofs. I don't really use anything with fish. So like everything else, the no BS traps have went up about was it about $30 a dozen. They've went up since last year. Uh, here. I have it wrote down right here. You said the juniors. They are $2.60 a dozen. Yeah, $260 a dozen, and they were $2.39. So they've went up $31. Um, as of right now, the way that I'm doing it is I'll only have them available in dozen counts and half dozen counts. Uh, I'm working with a company that actually messaged me and asked me if I wanted to start doing that for them. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So, um, help out, all three of us. People can order them from me. I'll be helping out three different companies, well, two other companies. That's what I always tell people. I said, if you order from small guys like me, you're not just helping me, you're not just supporting me, you're also supporting, Minnesota Trapline or wherever I'm getting all my other supplies. You're not just supporting me, you're supporting everybody. So if you normally order from Minnesota Trapline and you want to continue supporting them, if you order from any of the smaller people, most of them probably get all of their inventory from Minnesota. So, you're still supporting Minnesota as well. And then I try to carry, baits and lures from a lot of different companies and people that you can't necessarily get anywhere else, other than that person directly. I carry a few bigger names, like Dunlap and Mark June and stuff like that because, they're just very, very popular. But I carry a lot of stuff like Billingsley, Wolfen, Cass River, stuff like that you can't find on F&T or Minnesota or Hoosier or anywhere else like that. So I try to support the small guys as much as I can because that's what I am. I'm just a small guy. And like I said, I kind of decided really about 2 weeks ago that I wanted to kind of just cut back and then slowly build back because I just had, I won't say too much going on, but uh, more than I needed to have going. So I decided to just cut back a little bit and then slowly build back for him. Scab, I seen Mark J. Larson's video of the rendezvous in Pennsylvania that he posted. You guys did last weekend and went to last weekend. He had the video of the people jumping into the water. I was kind of hoping to see you doing that. Pricey, but well worth it, yeah. And that's the thing. The juniors are $260 a dozen right now, and everything's going up. All traps have went up. Every one of them. Most of them are around 20 to $30 a dozen. It's just crazy. Had all those as dealers for me. I didn't do any retail other than at my shows. Yeah, Billingsley, I know there's a lot of people that do that because they say that, if you're wanting any time to trap for yourself, that's about the only way to do it. Um, so you're not, shipping packages and stuff all the time. But, I don't know. I get it, and then I don't. Like, I understand how it'd be easier to ship out, large quantities to different dealers. But then again, you're losing a lot of your profit that you could make selling it on your own. But it's just like anything, it's like why companies sell to Walmart. Yeah, you make a lot less money per item, but you can sell a whole bunch at one time instead of a little here and a little there. But, I'm still, I'm still, I gotta tell everybody, I'm still a small guy. I'm still building up. Hopefully one day that, I'll have everything going. I have a few ideas in my mind right now that I'm wanting to do to help, myself and the business out, but it's I'm looking for something specific and I gotta figure that out. You've been more crippled than you are now. And I get that. Comes first for me. Yeah, I get that. That's the thing, I love trapping, but I the trapping industry is what I've kind of gotten myself into to support me and my family, and at this point, I'm just a small guy, and uh, sometimes it takes all I got just to continue going. So I love trapping, but at this point in time, if I got to where I was busy enough that I had a choice, um, I would definitely pick my customers and my business over my trapping because trapping, I love it, but it's just a hobby. My customers are what allows me to live the life that I get to live. And I always tell people customers first for me. Customer will always be first. Even if that, means that uh, I'm talking with customers and helping them out and making deals, you know, on days that I shouldn't be. Better off to grow into the business, not go into it. Yeah, I've not. One thing that I kind of knew because it's the same as everything I did before, like when I had the outdoor store and I did the fishing supplies, the hunting supplies. Um, the brick and mortar store itself for me was not the greatest idea. I should have just, kept doing what I was doing with the online stuff because I was going really well there for a while, and I was going to these bigger cities, and we went to Houston for a hunting convention with a company that I was pro staff for, and I was in the doing all that, and uh, I chose opening a outdoor store over all that stuff. And hey, Boxy, I appreciate you coming in. I seen a video of the you guys' rendezvous event last weekend. I told Scab I was waiting for him to jump in the water, but he didn't do it. And then I seen that Jeep Fam couldn't set that 850 that Scab took. But yeah, basically I've known that You can't try to start off on the top because you're definitely going to fail and fall to the bottom real quick. Boxy said it left alone. That's awesome. Boxy's showing them all up. Boxy should have got that on film. You could have posted that on YouTube, showing all the young guys, showing them all off, saying, "Here, this is how you do it." But I can tell everybody, I do really well now. I don't do really well. I do good when I'm just sticking with myself and my customers and staying in my own little world, I guess you could call it. Anytime I get somehow, I don't know how you say it, anytime I get like in contact with any kind of bigger name person or something like that, that's usually when all the drama starts. And I hate drama. So, Video Mark Chase said it also. That's awesome. Nervous with. Did you set it by hand or did you use your feet? Your whole knee was able to fit inside it, yeah. It's a big trap, that's for sure. But, yeah. That's kind of what this whole thing that I'm going through now was uh, kind of scaling back to slowly build up. Because I had, there's kind of just too much going on. And I needed to slow down, regroup, and slowly build back up. And hopefully I could get back to where, I want to be. But Nick Green could say it, Yeah. I know a lot of people that just step on the levers and set it like that. I know I don't have a need for a trap that big. I know a lot of people like them, but uh, they're pretty big, pretty tough, pretty hard to set. Hey Flintlock, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in here tonight. Oh, not a whole lot. We're just kind of chatting. Yeah, yeah. I seen in Mark J's video that about everybody was filming at all times. About every shot that he had or clip that he had, you could see 3, 4, 5 people with cameras. Yeah, I finally found somebody that was can work with me on the no BS, and they actually reached out to me about it. So that's what I said. I've been thinking about it for a little while, but I actually made the decision last week to kind of slow down, step back. I am not carrying a lot of brands now, because I wanted to just, you know, slow down, slowly build up, and then had a guy message me about doing the no BS, and I said absolutely. Hey Jamie, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. You're just getting off work, aren't you? No, you should be off work. It's almost 1 o'clock there. Well, it's Friday night also, so you're probably working late. They're the Beaver Extreme. I will have them. I don't have those available yet. He said probably in about a month or two. He was thinking. They're still there. Yeah. After I said that, I realized it's the weekend, and it's Memorial Day weekend. So. But yeah, there's always things going on. I'll be out making baits and lures before long. Finally getting some jars in. Jamie. Yeah. It's not going at all. There's no chicken farming anymore. My cats got in the chicken pen and killed all of the chickens in one night. Alright, Judith and Dan, I appreciate you coming in. Hope you have a good night and a good weekend. Alright, Scab, I appreciate it. So, yeah, I had a customer and friend that uh, has 3 beaver that he was going to give me. Alright, Boxy, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in and chatting with us. Hope you have a good night and weekend. But I had a friend that gave me 3 beaver. He lives about 45 minutes from me. And I was going to go to his house and pick him up last weekend. Told him I'll be there Sunday at 2 p.m. He said, okay. So we drive out there, and about 5 minutes from his house, I message him and say, hey, we're 5 minutes away. We'll be there. And he called me and said, I got sidetracked. I'm not home. I'm over here, which was about 30 minutes away from his house, in the other direction from where I live. And his truck had broke down, and he needed somebody to come jump him. And it's like, really? It's like, I just drove 45 minutes here, and you're not here. It's like, that's nice. So, that was, literally $20 in gas it took to drive there and back for nothing. Signed us up to watch over someone's chickens for the week. Jamie, yeah. Well, it's very upsetting that the cats went in and killed all the chickens in one night. It's like it was a lot of money that we spent and everything, and a lot of time I put into building that pen. Just for the cats to, kill them all in one night. It is what it is. Just, like I say, there's definitely been a lot of stuff going on in the last month. Jamie, yeah. Scam. Alright, Billings, I appreciate it. You have a good night, and hope you have a good sale tomorrow. Hope you have a good weekend. A little bit scrambled chicken for breakfast. Yeah. So I've had a bunch of losses, I guess. Not really losses, but a lot of not so good things happened last month. I'm ready for some positive things to come along. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't really care for the MB 750s. I've never personally used them. I know Billingsley don't like them. See, here in Missouri, we don't have a trap foothold restriction, but we can't use snares and we can't use 220s on land, which sucks, but it is what it is. Hey, Smoking Pete's, appreciate you coming in. Yeah, yeah, it does, but it's been one of those things. It's almost been like a every other day. Uh, I've heard from quite a few people that says the whole back half of the pan is dead. The way that the latch is built, that like if you set the trap and push on the back of the pan, it won't go off like it will the front half of the pan. That basically there's a dead spot. Half of the pan is a dead spot. I've heard that from a few people. Duke number fours. And now you use Duke 550s. Yeah, Scab, I was saying here a minute ago. Uh, this is the 550 Duke. I can say that I like the 650 way more than the 550. I've yet to put this in the ground and try it, but I don't like the levers. These need to be like that long. Because I mean like you can't really get your hand on it to set it. I mean you can still set it, but I feel like this is quite a bit harder to set than the 650 simply because the 650s are like the levers are like that. You have room for your hands. Here, I mean there's just I mean, you can see that the lever's almost just as tall as the jaws. So, uh, I think I'm going to stick with the 650s. But I am going to get some Canine Extremes to try out. Doesn't have those from you, but I really like Dogless so much better. Jamie, I now carry the No BS Canine Extremes. I posted those Wednesday night. I only have the options for a dozen count and a half dozen, but I now carry No BS Canine Extremes. I will have the Beaver Extremes and the Dog Proofs in the next month or two. Right now they're out of stock, so whenever they get back in stock, these will also be drop shipped, just like the Duke traps are. So Alright, Smoking Pete's, I appreciate you stopping in and chatting with us all. Hope you have a good night and a good weekend. And I appreciate it. Dogless are nice, but the pit systems on the Duke Pros are really nice. Yeah, I've been a dogless fan since 2018, the first year I trapped, and I bought I got a dozen of those 650s to try out last year, and I loved them. Super easy to bed, easy to set, strong. Definitely have great lockup on them. So far, I will say my favorite trap that I have personally used would be the Alpha trap, but there's they're $280 a dozen, so there's a huge difference in price for a lot of different coyote traps, and I think that's pretty expensive for uh, coyote trap. But I want to get a few more because I like them. Eventually, I will. Same thing with No BS. They're pretty expensive, but I'm gonna get some of those to try them out as well. Order a half dozen. I appreciate it. I don't know if they make a long spring dogless trap. Do they? Hmm. Yeah, it's just, what gets me is like the Canine Extremes. Um, I can get a dozen Duke number 2 dogless for quite a bit cheaper than I can get a half dozen Canine Extremes. So, a dozen Canine Extremes, I could get 2.5 dozen Duke number 2 dogless. So, it's just, I don't know, crazy. Seems like I could be running a lot of traps this season. How, how many do you mean a lot? Need to buy a fur freezer. I got a fur freezer. It's not real big, but um, my mom had a little chest freezer, and I asked her. I said, "You gonna use that anymore?" She's like, no, I don't. Not really." I said, "Well, if you don't want it, I'll buy it." And she just said, "Okay." So I have that now. Oh, I know. That's how the alpha trap is. Uh, I like the alpha trap probably twice as much as I do the Duke 650. But there's a ginormous price difference between the two, and for someone like me, uh, money is not that easy to come by. If money wasn't an issue, I wouldn't care. But if you order 6 more, maybe around 40 or so, not too bad for a year or two. No, definitely not. Say I want to get me a couple Canine Extremes and a couple Canine Extreme Juniors. Uh, I honestly don't know if I'll get the juniors. I might just get the extremes because I like the little bit, bigger trap. So, and there's not, really a price difference in the two. They're pretty much the same price. maybe a couple bucks difference, and that's it. And I got like, I don't know, I got over a dozen 1.5s, which I don't use a whole lot of those, but yeah. And see, that's how the alpha was. I mean, like I said, I caught at least 4 or 5 possums in it, 2 or 3 raccoons, a feral cat, and then 4 coyotes. And 2 of those coyotes, I mean, were fighters. I mean, they were pulling and jumping and going crazy as much as they possibly could. And one of them was the biggest coyote I've ever caught. Just a hair under 35 pounds. And I mean, he was yanking on it as hard as he could. And that trap, I mean, still, pan tension was exactly the same. Uh, the pan set level exactly like it did when I first put it out. Nothing's tweaked, nothing's bent. Um, even the coil pegs or whatever you want to call them, they weren't bent. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's still set perfectly, and it beds super, super, super easy. So I would say it's probably by far my favorite trap that I have used, but they're expensive. I like big iron for my beaver traps. They're probably overkill, but yeah, there's a lot of people that use big traps for beaver, where it's the 850, the TS85, the Bridger number 5, 750. And then there's some people that, use the number 2 or number 3. Scab, he uses a lot of the 550s. Billingsley, he uses a number 3 Bridger. So, yeah, see, and the thing about it, Jamie, I did a couple double sets, but I want enough traps to where every time I set a trap, I can put, you know, 4 or 5 in the area. I'm not saying like within, 3 feet of each other, but 4 or 5 within, 6, 7 feet apart, at least, maybe 10 feet apart. Because I don't want, to catch 2 dogs and then to sit there and fight, but uh, I feel like a lot of the times there's packs of coyotes that come running through, and sometimes, you can catch, if you have the traps out, you can catch 2 or 3 at a time. But if you only have one trap out, I mean, you're only going to catch one trap. I mean, that alpha trap, the set I had last year, I caught uh, 4 coyotes in 4 days. I'm pretty sure there was a pack going through there every night. And if I would have had a few sets out, I probably would have caught a few each night. Yeah, at least half double. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would say, like I said, the no BS K9 Extremes, I haven't used them yet. I don't have experience with them. Hopefully, I'll have some before this season and I can try some out. But from the traps I've used, Alpha is by far my favorite trap. Uh, but my number one use trap will be the Duke 650 because it has the quality, the strength, the bulkiness, and it's easy on the pocketbook. So, had a double 2 huge boar raccoons on here. They were too close together for far. Yeah. Like I said, I caught my first double this year on coyotes, and they were I bet they were 80 yards apart. I mean, they weren't close, but it was a road, and they were probably 80 yards apart. Just two track, and they were definitely screaming at each other. But the second coyote, like, as I pulled up to the trap, he pulled out because I bought a cheap trap to try out because it was super cheap and I wanted to try it out to see exactly, how it was and whatnot. And I'm just put it, it's a cheap trap that you get what you pay for, and it needs a ton of work out of the box. You can make it a great trap, but I mean, you're going to be putting time and money into it, that's for sure. When would be better off spending, $30, $40 more and getting a dozen traps that are ready to go. Yeah. Flintlock, honestly, if it was me, from what I've heard from many people, I think the TS-85 is the trap that I would go with. I mean, there's a reason why the TS-85s sell out all the time. The TS-85s and no BS traps are sold out all the time, and there's a reason for it. I mean, they're not selling out because they're not very good traps, you know what I mean? They're selling out because everybody wants them, because they've been proven over and over and over and over. Put a rat trap on the ground with an egg beside it the first night she left town. But, yeah. So you're just watching chicken, I think. I don't get, I don't know. Sounds like having fun. Like the bridge of 1.5 I got. Took me 2 hours to get that thing. Take you 2 hours. I got a dozen of them and I set them straight out of the box. They're perfect for me. The only thing I will say is they do have sharp edges, but I like them a lot better than the uh, Duke 1.5s. And I like them better than the No BS 1.5. Jamie, yeah, probably. Yeah. So I don't think a mice or a rat is carrying off eggs. My problem with the No BS 1.5 is yes, it is quality, but I hate traps. Like, to me, you have to put way too much effort into getting that trap set for what it is. I mean, it's a 1.5. So, I mean, it is what it is. Stupid flies. Jaw stood up 1/2 inch. I mean, that's a lot of traps. I don't know. For all the 1.5s I've used, the Bridgers are my favorite. I said, when it comes to traps, it's all personal preference. Flintlock, yeah, I do. Um, Currently, I just have the option for a dozen. My problem with the Duke 1.5s is the same problem I have with the Duke number 2 circle trap doggone. I feel like when you're setting it, you gotta like push the levers past the base of the frame to be able to get the jaws to open up enough to get the dog to catch the pan. I don't know. It just to me that's it's like there's just way too much effort that you have to put into setting it. And like the Bridger, I just my biggest downfall on it is the edges are sharp. But other than that, I mean, I like the night latch and everything else about it. And then again, everything you're gonna be catching in it, possums and coon and stuff like that. I'm not letting any of that stuff go, so I don't really care. Scabs 1.5 field test this year. Yeah. See what did Scab had the Duke, Sleepy Creek, Victor, Bridger, No BS, and the MB 450. I think those are the ones he had. The MB 450 is at least double the price of all the other ones. Yeah. Sleepy Creek, Victor, Duke, Bridger, No BS, and then the MB 450. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, traps are comes down to it. It's mostly personal preference. I mean, all traps catch fur. Yeah, I know that it counts. I'm just saying it's like twice the price of all the other ones. Flintlock, yeah, I can get them. I don't have them on the website, but I can get them. So I can get mostly anything I can get. The problem with a lot of like fur handling stuff, like as far as stretchers and boards and stuff like that, the number ones aren't a problem, but some of the bigger ones, like the raccoon and the coyote and stuff, they're so bulky that they cost a fortune to ship. No. And that's what I tell people when you're talking about like the Duke 550 and the MB 550. I know a lot of people say they like the square pan over the circle pan, which I think the square pan is bigger than the circle pan, but they're virtually the exact same thing. Um, but you're talking $160 a dozen compared to $220 a dozen. So, $60 difference. Now, if you're one of those people that are just, made in America, argue about everything, MB, yeah, go for it. But, I mean, if you're like most trappers and you're on a tight budget, I mean, it's hard to beat the Duke traps. The 550, the 650, and the number 2 dogless. It's hard to beat those three traps. They're quality traps and they're very easy on the wallet. And again, it all really comes down to personal preference. Because it's like, the Duke 550 and the 650. I have not heard anything negative about the trap from anyone. Like, I have yet to hear anything really negative about it, except for the fact that, it's Duke and it's not made in America. So, yeah, I don't know. Gas went down in Illinois, where I'm at. It's only plus, our gas is still continues to go up, to go up, and to go up, and to go up. MB was first. Yeah. MB, I mean, they had the first, I'll say they had the first 550, this style, like this. The set up like this. But, and then again, this is not an exact replica. Because, I mean, they have, the pan's different. So this is not an exact replica of the 550. It just has cast jaws. I mean, the cast jaws is really the only thing that distinguishes it from the MB and the Duke. But the MB 650 is an exact replica of the MJ 600 Sterling made, which I did not know that until about a month or two ago. About 2 months ago, I learned that the hard way, like everything else, over drama and arguments. But yeah, the MB 650 is an exact replica of the MJ 600 Sterling trap, and I've heard from a lot of people that says MB, the way that they made the latch that holds the pan, they didn't do it correct. Like, they didn't do it exactly the right way that Sterling did. So it does have a dead spot in the pan, is what I've heard from a lot of people. And then the 750 is a work from the 650. I mean, it's basically the same thing, just larger. But you can get an MB 650 with cast straws, but they're like $2.90 a dozen or something like that. Both Duke and Bridger and traps, but I think I like Bridger better. The Bridger, like the dogless traps, the Bridger number 3s are nice. The number 2s are not that nice. I had a bunch that I got rid of because they didn't set very smoothly. They were real rough, and I didn't like them. I sold them to my brother with a bunch of other traps. Let's take a look at the dog on the 550. I don't know if the camera will show it real well. It's like circle. I don't know how well the camera's showing that. Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't know much about the old Sterling traps. I said that somebody had gotten mad over a comment I made. I I don't know. You know how people are, but uh, I was looking at a picture of the MJ600, which is basically the MB650. It's the original one that was built, and they are expensive. Um, I think they were, what is it? I can't quite remember, but they're like $500 to $600 a dozen for the MJ600. They're like $40 to $45 a piece. I mean, they are very expensive. So, yeah. I don't know. All traps made today are really just remakes of traps from the past. I mean, they used cast jaws back in the 20s and 30s. I mean, that's not something MB started. The cast jaws have been around for 100 years. You know what I mean? Most all traps that are made today are copies of other traps, which it's that way for anything. I mean, everything has something that remakes it. If there's anything that's successful, you can be guaranteed eventually there'll be at least one other person that remakes that. Yeah, for a long time. Um, and like I said, I'd never really heard of it until uh, that, that post that I'd seen. And I was talking to somebody about them, and they told me how expensive they were. And I just thought they were joking. And I looked them up, and yeah, no, they're very, very expensive. I think it's right around $600 for a dozen of them. It's like, yeah, I couldn't imagine using those and having the risk of somebody running them over or stealing them, or that's crazy. Like I said, it's all personal preference. It's based on what you like or what you can afford. Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm not gonna get into naming companies that remake traps, but most all of them that are made today are remakes of another company that isn't around anymore or whatever. Or they take the exact same design and add one little different thing to it, but I mean, they're all remakes of one way or the other. There's not, when it comes to traps, there's not a lot of uh, new ideas, I guess you could say. But like I can say, the new Alpha trap is really, really nice. And it's a number 3 trap, but it's not as big as a lot of number 3s are. What I like about the Duke Pros is, I mean, for one, like people that are getting into trapping, and not even the Duke Pros, just the Dukes in general. I mean, they're very affordable for people that are just getting into it or don't have a lot of money or I mean just whatever. I mean they're great traps. I mean it's not like they're just piles of junk. I mean there is I did buy a trap this year or last year to use out that I will say it's pretty close to just a pile of junk, but um, and it was very 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 cheap, and it was definitely one of those you get what you pay for. Yeah, I'd definitely say I've never had one, and at the price that they cost, I can pretty much guarantee you I never will have one. So, I mean, $20 for a trap is quite a bit. So, 45, $50 for a trap is crazy. 94.28 from a quarter of a tank. Yeah, our gas is going up still. It's still cheaper than a lot of places, but uh, the gas station that's by our church is, I think it was 4.11. It's just getting ridiculous. It's getting to the point where, I mean, we kind of just stay home. I mean, we don't go anywhere anymore for anything. I mean, used to, like, when we got downpours, I used to like driving around and looking at the creeks and stuff like that. But now it's like, it's literally going to cost $20 to go drive around for an hour. Like, um, just stay home. Yeah, say today was our first sunny day in probably 7, 8 days at least. We've had so much rain. I mean, our ground is just anywhere you go is like an inch and a half, 2 inches of just mud. So I'm hoping. I mean, like we planted our garden, and the next day it rained, and it has rained every day since, except for today. Today was sunny, and it was probably close to 80 today. So I'm hoping that really got our garden popping. It's at my mom's house, so I haven't looked at it. I'll probably go up there and look at it tomorrow. And if we do that video tomorrow, I'll be watching. Hey, Scab, is it you gonna do a live video? That's the truth. Well, I said, I mean, uh, last trapping season, gas was here. It was, I think, like $2.40 something cents, and it was costing. Just the line that I did was, I think I was putting $20 in the truck every 3 days. So now you're talking almost double. So $40 every 3 days. I mean that's just crazy. I mean I can't afford that. Live, alright. I should be on there watching. That's kind of the big reason why we're not going to a lot of conventions. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we're not going to let the gas prices keep us from going." It's like I mean, I don't have a choice. Like, I don't have the extra $300-400 it's gonna cost just in fuel to go to a convention. So, like the NTA, I was really wanting to go this year, and I was like bound and determined to go. But I mean, just with everything being so expensive, it's like it was gonna cost us at least $1,200 to go up there and back. So I just told my wife, I said, we can't afford that. Like, we physically don't have the money, and I mean, we're just gonna have to cancel, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I'd really like to go to the Nebraska and Iowa convention this year, but and it depends on how the conventions turn out if any of them get canceled. Because from what I'm hearing from people, hotels are a lot more this year than they were last year too. So I still think there's going to be a lot of people show up to conventions, but I don't think people are going to have the money to spend at the conventions that they normally do. So, mid afternoon. Alright, Scam. I should be on there. I think we have to go to my aunt and uncle's tomorrow for dinner. So I don't exactly know what time that'll be, but I don't know. But I can tell you one thing, it's definitely a hard time to try to make a living in the trapping industry, no matter how you do it. I don't care if you're a nuisance trapper or a longliner or bait and lure maker or a trap supply. I don't care like what you are in the trapping industry. It's right now it's just hard to make a living because everything is so expensive and it's just crazy. And people are to the point now where they're trying, they're doing everything they can to save every bit of money they can. So a lot of people are starting to, make their own bait, make their own lure, stuff like that. Just, I mean, so it saves them money. And I know a lot of people are, I've seen a lot of people selling, like, a lot of longliners and stuff, selling all their stuff because it's just getting to the point where they don't want to do it anymore because it's so expensive. And a lot of the newer trappers are buying all that stuff, so they're not really buying new stuff. They're buying, used traps and used equipment from all these people that are quitting. Plus with the tours, yeah. My mom had a Kia Niro, and it was like it ran on electricity until you got to so much RPMs or whatever you want to call it, and then it would run on gas. So it charged itself. You didn't have to charge it. And she was getting like 95 miles to a gallon. I told her, I said, I'm thinking about getting one of those cars. She's like, yeah, I really wish I had it back. And it's like, yeah, yeah. So it don't matter where you go. Yeah, so it is. So I tell people, I said, me and my wife, we literally don't go anywhere. And used to, I could put $20 of gas in her car, and it would last us a week or real close to it. And now it's like every time we get in the car, it's $20. Every time we get in the car, it's go to the gas station and put $20 in it. It's just stupid. I don't know. I mean, it costs $20 in fuel just to mow the lawn. 5 gallons. Costs $20 in fuel just to mow the lawn. Of course, we mow our yard and then mow my mom's. And it takes close to 5 gallons to do it. That's $20. It's just crazy. Yeah. Hey PA, how you doing tonight? Appreciate you coming in, chatting. Been live for a while. Wow, it's already 12:43. Wow, times are going by fast. That's for sure. Of course, it was 11 o'clock when I started this. But I don't know. So what's everybody's got planned for this weekend? Plus, saying earlier, the last year I bought 10, like it's a circle swimming pool. It's 10 foot circle for my daughter, for us to be in with our daughter. And today I cleaned it up because we was gonna put it up, and it's got a small slit in it. So I was like, oh, we'll patch it. And I was kind of looking at the swimming pool to see how much they are this year. Last year they were $59. This year they're $89. I'm like, that is ridiculous. That's like almost a 60% increase in a year. You know, kayaking tomorrow? Awesome. 3-day weekend, cut the grass, grill out, relax. Awesome flintlock. So I don't know what I'm doing really. Doing the box line, and then try and do a fishing rod. Go back to it. Sounds like fun, Scab. So I don't know what all I have planned for tomorrow. I think we're going to my aunt and uncle's for dinner. Other than that, I don't know. Actually, PA, I wish that was the way it worked. Um, I know so far this year compared to last year, uh, I don't think I've even done half the amount of business as I did last year. Come to this time. Um, Last year I was doing, I mean, very well. Like, not this time last year, I mean, it already slowed down by now because trap season was over, but January, February, March, I did phenomenal last year, and, uh, that really had my hopes up to thinking that it was finally about to take off for me, and then, I mean, things just started going south real fast, and then the fur market pretty much disappeared, and the price of everything went up, and now all the trapping supplies are going up, and people just really aren't ordering anything anymore. So yeah, I mean, I don't even think I've done half the business at this point this year that I had at this point last year. So it's definitely been crazy. I'll say that. Just temporary. I hope it turns around. I think here soon it's either gonna have to start turning around, or it's gonna completely crash and we're all really gonna be screwed. So, uh, that's why I'm trying to uh, spread my horizon, I guess you could call it. And I'm getting into the seasoning and hot sauces a little more. The my barbecue rubs, I've been making them for like 9, 10 months now. I've had them available. So I've had the hot sauces come out in the last couple months. The steak seasoning. I'll have a few more things coming out here, hopefully for too much longer, and I'm hoping that will kind of, can help me through. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean even utilities are going up. I mean just the bare minimum cost of living to get by now is ridiculous. I mean when it starts affecting like these number one companies, these multi-billion-dollar companies, when it starts affecting them, that's when things are getting bad. I know the trucking industry is definitely hurting right now with the cost of diesel. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I'm not saying it all had to do with Trump, but just the way him and his team handled the economy and the country. I mean, they did things a way that a lot of people didn't agree with, but they did things for the people. I mean, literally everything they did was for the people. Like that's what they say. Trump is just in it for the money. It's like his net worth is less than half of what it was now than it was when he first announced that he was running for president. I mean, it's just he's lost a lot of stuff when he did that. So, yeah, he wasn't doing it for money. But I mean, there was a time where we got gas 97 cents a gallon. Cost $9 to fill the car up. Her old car. It was at a quarter tank. It cost $9 to fill it up. So now it's 20 bucks doesn't even give you a quarter tank now. So, I mean it's just crazy. $4 gallon 2004. Yeah, if I would think about electric cars, I mean most of them are so expensive that the average person can't afford them. I'm gonna go let this stupid dog in. Yeah, it's what I said, back in uh, 2020, there was, I think, about 2 weeks where gas was 96 and 97 cents a gallon. And it's just, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, a dollar now is not worth anything. It's useless. I mean, even those little 25-cent candy machines that are, at the stores right by the door when you walk out, you put a quarter in, you turn them and you get something. Those are all 75 cents now, and it's like, really? Yeah. Say it never got over $4. This is the first time it's ever been over $4 here. I asked my mom, and she's like, yeah. She's like, there was a time it was like 360, 350 or 360. And this is the first time it's ever gone over $4 a gallon here. And it's really not even that gas, is so expensive. I mean, everything is so expensive right now. I mean, everything. I mean, even the case of water that we used to buy was $4, and now it's 7 for a case of water. It's like, really? Yeah, Flintlock, neither do I. I mean, to be honest with you. Yeah. Say, I'm 28, so, I started driving, let's see here, been like 2010. It's either 2009 or 2010 when I started driving. It's like, I don't even want, I'm not even one of those people that wants 97-cent gas again, At this point, I'd be happy with $2.50. Like, honestly, I would be absolutely, I'm like, just, I would absolutely love if gas would get back down to 2.50 a gallon. Mm. Think about it, and that's the thing, Uh, I don't know. I hope that I'm able to make it through all the stuff that's happening. And I seriously thought, like, about the time trapping season to start last year, I told my wife, I said, if we can get through this season and next summer, I said, we'll have it made. Like, we will have been going for long enough, our name will be out, and we'll be doing good. But with the way that supplies are going up and fur prices are going down and gas is going up, and I think this coming year is going to be way worse than last year was. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I get emails all the time on my phone talking about Biden giving money to here, this state's giving money out, they're giving money to this and this and that. And they're always just giving money out. I mean, people don't think they're buying votes. I mean, you're buying votes. When you tell people if you vote for me, we're gonna pay your school loans off. You vote for me, we're gonna, give you money every month. You vote for me, we're gonna give you this, we're gonna give you that. And the funny thing is, most of the time, they don't even do what they said they're gonna do. I always love when they send a bill through Senate to spend like, $4 trillion or something doing this, and then half of it always ends up going to just stupid BS stuff that ends up going to companies that uh, senators' kids own, and I mean, it's just horse crap. Like all the money we're sending to Ukraine right now, it's just. I think I read something. We're sending like $40 billion to Ukraine right now, when our country is the way it is right now. It's like, really? I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just my look at it. I try not to talk about politics too much because I hate it. I don't agree with anything that goes on anymore, and people love to argue about it. So I try not to talk about it too much. I just I try to just watch positive things. Most of what I've been watching now is a guy that does pizza reviews because that just gets my mind off of everything that's going on nowadays. It just, I don't know. Watching that like calms my mind. Yeah, I felt like that's for sure. 40 billion would do a lot of stuff. And that's how we continuously enlarge our debt and our debt and our debt. That's why I tell people, I'm like, if we're $25 trillion in debt, how are we still giving money away? How do we have money to give away? Like, I mean, we just tell China, hey, we need $45 trillion because we're giving 40 trillion to, we're gonna give 20 billion here, 30 billion here, 10 billion here. We just borrow money to give to other countries. It's like, why? Why would we borrow money to give it to them? Why don't they borrow it from us so they owe us? I mean, we're literally at the point now where China could just say, "Yep, we own the United States now," and then we're all screwed. So, yeah, I don't know. And that's like that stupid war that's going on over there. It's like I tell people, I hope Ukraine and Russia just kill each other. Everybody's like, "Oh, we stand for Ukraine. We back Ukraine." It's like all I can say is whatever you want to call him, the leader of Ukraine. I don't know what they call him. It ain't a president or whatever it's called, but he's good friends with the Bidens and Obama and all these other people. Like he's friends with all these evil people that are Democrats, and he's not friends with Trump. So it's like that right there tells me everything I need to know about Ukraine. If Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and all of these people like him and Ukraine, that tells me that there's something going on there that is not good. Yeah. I don't know. pretty much. And the thing about it, like what happened over there with all that equipment, like and weaponry that got taken, they do that like most places they go because it would cost more to bring that stuff back than it would to build and replace it. So a lot of times they just destroy it. Well, they didn't destroy it, they just left it there to get taken. Well, that sucks, PA. That's definitely not good. But, I don't know. All I can say is, I'll continue to pray about it, and I mean, it's out of my control. There ain't much I can do about it. Wait for the rapture, pretty much. So I don't know. Yeah, scam. So I don't know. So normally they would just destroy everything. Because like I said, it costs more to fly it all back than it would to just replace it here. That's what I've heard from quite a few people, anyways. And that stuff was left, and it just wasn't taken care of like it should have been. It was just kind of left behind on purpose. I can tell you that. Flintlock, yeah, I know, I get it. And that's me. I do these lives, and I try my best to talk positive and be positive and stuff, but I always, it usually starts with somebody talking about gas prices, and then that's usually where it just goes south real quick. Um, so, yeah, um, like I say, my only hopes is I hope I can continue doing what I'm doing and make it through all this. Uh, Here lately, it's been hard to stay positive about it, but you're good, Flintlock. I get it. I mean, yeah, PA, and the thing about it, like, if you actually look into it, the money that they donate to all these researches and stuff like that, most of those people are like companies that are owned by people that are relatives to senators and governors and stuff like that. Like, they're like, oh, we're gonna give $200 million to this research. Well, the guy that owns that company that's doing the research is the nephew of the governor. I mean, it's like, really? You don't think that's corrupt in any way? Yeah, it's good. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's my thing, that's why I tell everybody, I said, when Trump was president, I used to follow all his live videos, all his speeches. When I woke up in the morning, I was always grabbing my phone, wanting to watch the news, the lives, all that stuff, because every day he was signing bills that helped everybody out. The farmers, the small people, the small businesses. I mean, he just constantly doing stuff to help everybody out. And then now it's just now it's just crap. I mean, you get on there and all that's on the news or anything anymore is just Satan. It's all Satan anymore. I mean, their biggest worries are 5-year-olds wanting to be gay, or a 5-year-old boy wanting to be a girl and use the girls' bathrooms. I mean, that's all they care about anymore. That's all you hear about is stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing about it. I mean, there's nothing I can personally do about it. All I can do, like I said, all I can do is pray about it. And whatever's going to happen, happens. I mean, all countries. I mean, Canada's going downhill just as fast as we are, if not faster. Everything that's going on over there, I don't know, it's just crazy. That's the thing that gets me, The Clintons, Obama, all these people, like, when they got into the White House, when they became president, they didn't have much. And then when they leave office, their net worth is millions, millions, millions. It's like you had nothing when you came into office, and then you leave office being worth 10, $15 million. It's like, how does that happen? It's like a president's yearly wage is 400 something $1,000. So how can you be president for 8 years and then come out being worth $15 million when you were worth next to nothing when you went in there? Like, I don't get it. It's like if you were worth $2 million when you got in office, and then you get out and you're worth 15, 20 million. How does that happen? OPA, they're doing that every day already. Everything is that way. Uh, it's like the NRA. They continuously just lay down and accept things. Oh, we'll give you this one, so maybe you won't try to take anything for a few months. We'll let you go ahead and make this law. That's not right. That's not what the NRA is for. NRA's there to fight any gun laws, to fight everything and anything, not to just give up and say, "Oh, well, we'll give you this one." I mean, what is that? Scam. Yeah, I don't know. So I try not to think about it too much anymore because there's nothing positive about it at all. I mean, you can turn on any news channel anymore and there's nothing positive going on. It's all negative. Hey, Jeep fam. I appreciate you coming in and no problem. Hope you had a good night. Yeah, I'm about to head off to bed myself. It's about 1:15, so that and the conversation's kind of gotten dark. So talking politics and everything in between. Yeah, plotting to take over the world. Somebody on Facebook posted. Basically, it was like uh, all politicians are trying to start a war, and we can't continue to take it. It's time for a fight. It said, "Just let me know where, and I'll be there, ready to fight." And I commented on there, and I said, "I can't afford to get to the fight. I mean, no matter where you're at, I can't afford to travel to where the fight is anymore." So yeah, I mean that's just yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Politicians, it's all popularity and who has the biggest checkbook. So new dog, she's already gotten a lot bigger in the time we've had her. A little over, had her about a week, and she's already gotten quite a bit bigger. She's a little turd. She's starting to look cool though. Thinking she's gonna look like a boxer. That's what her mom is, a boxer. Something like Jesus. 1076 for a pack of marbles yesterday. Scam. Oh yeah, I have. I'm not gonna say I have a lot of ammo because I know there's people that have hundreds of thousands of rounds, but I definitely have more than the average person, and I even have at least twice as much as I have loaded um, stuff to load them. So I do a lot of reloading. PA. You'd vote for Scab. That's how bad it's gotten. Yeah. I mean, if people want to know how dumb the world has became, I think it was 2016 when Trump became president. There was some gorilla. I can't remember what gorilla, but that gorilla had died that year, election year, and there was like 2,500 votes for the gorilla. Like, people legit wrote the gorilla's name in voting. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, really? I don't understand people. Yeah, scam Harambe. Harambe. Yeah. I say I'm fairly stocked. I don't even know how many bullets I have, but I have a lot of ammo. I have at least probably 3 or 4,000 22 shells at least, and close to 1,000 223. I don't know, 4 or 500 9mm rounds, 1,000 12 gauge shells. Uh, I don't even know, like 200 22 250 bullets loaded, and probably close to that many that's not loaded yet. Military doesn't use 5.56 anymore. Who knows? The new 6.8 by 51 sig round rifle. Fun. I don't know why. I mean, it's a little bigger. I think that it would cost a little more for the ammo. A 6.8 by 51. I mean, that's pretty close to 243, if I'm not wrong, right? PA right now getting them into reloading is absolutely ridiculous, and you can't hardly find anything. I mean, you used to be able to buy 1,000 primers for $40, and now it's about $140. And yeah, but that's 6.8. I mean, that's like a 243 round, right? I remember right. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, primers are hard to find. When you can, they're like $140 for 1,000 when they used to be $40. A pound of powder was 25, $30, and now it's like 50. It's all gone up. I don't know. I don't know. To me, it just sounds like something that's going to cost more to use. I'm surprised they didn't go with the 6.5 Creed more. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Roxy. Roxy. The rifle's AR-10 lower. Oh, yeah. Well, the lower's not the expensive part. It's the upper that's the expensive part. Well, that's just crazy. I mean, that's... How many billions of dollars is that going to cost? Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I try not to pay attention to the news anymore. I don't. I can't even hardly stand to Glock 19. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, but that to me that seems like something. If the batteries get low, it's gonna be fibbing to you. And how do you know when you need to recalibrate it? When you go to shoot somebody and miss and have to recalibrate it, and they shoot you in the process. And it's probably made by Trigicon. Trigicon makes a lot of the military stuff. One thing we have the number one military. That's for sure. Solar backup. To me, it sounds like a very expensive change. You're talking new optics, new guns, and you're gonna have to retrain everybody on how to use that stuff. That just seems very, very, very expensive to me. Billions and billions of dollars. Yeah. I know Trichicon makes like their thermal scopes and stuff like that. Their laser sights. They're all Trichicon. Trichicon is very expensive. This has been a very interesting live tonight. Yeah, who knows? 223 and 556, right? I mean, it used to be cheap. Now it's, I mean, a 20 round box. I remember at our Cabela's, um, the 556, you used to be able to buy a 20 round box for like $4 or $5. This was just like 4 years ago. Now it's almost $20. Made by Vortex. Vortex makes some pretty good scopes, and they're very reasonably priced. Um, they make quality stuff, and they're a whole lot cheaper than a lot of the other ones. TwitchCon only made the ACOG. Yeah. It's crazy. A lot of companies make a lot of money off the military. On the downside, yeah. I got a old 7mm Mauser. It's an old one. It's got the uh, crazy sight on it. And the bullets for it were not the easiest to find either. Sold it like a dummy when you're younger. Yeah, I get it. But alright, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. It's about 1:30. Uh, appreciate you guys coming in and chatting with me, even for it being so late. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, appreciate you guys coming in and chatting with me tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Scab, hopefully I can make it on your live tomorrow and watch you do the unboxing. I'll see you guys on the next one, and hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys.